It's just interesting to look at the detail of these doorways, which were probably swung open so he could remain as cool as possible. But these are all stamped, hand stamped, probably from the reverse side, and then laid on top of the architectural structure. Huh. Imagine how gorgeous these must look when they're polished up, which they would have been. Here you get a little hint where people rub it, how bright it must have looked, just like gold. And that would have been gold colored. You can see a little remnant of the coloring there. And now the Hall of Preserving Harmony. It looks like even a bird cage over there. Well, they fought my way. It looks like two bird cages, one on either side. See, there's one there. Just another opportunity to pan down through this architecture. Now we're starting to get where there are a lot of little buildings, and you can see them drifting off wall after wall. And this is where we'll find a lot of the individual collections. Notice that Buddha stupa in the back, at least that's what I think it is. And there's, I think, Jiashan Mountain, known where one of the emperors hung himself. I forget what the circumstances were. It's always a good thing when some leaders, not all of them, hang themselves. Some were good and shouldn't do that. Others weren't and should use their volition. Okay, and our final gate, the gate of heavenly purity. Seems like an incredibly bleak life, although surrounded by opulence, like a small diamond in a huge incrustation of gold. Same-o, except the relief is much greater. And if you could get up above, you could actually tell what this is. Hopefully there's some kind of aerial view of this somewhere. Be interesting to see. This suggests that it is one carving. Huh. When you're walking at a distance away from it of maybe 10 or 15 feet as I am now, you can see the very real slope, curve of that stone and of that whole little area extending from this rock stone patch here over to a similar stone patch. Here, for some reason, the normally blank walls are decorated with a floral motif, and of course they've added some pine trees potted to make it a little less cold. Now you notice on this temple again how the green dominates the blue, for whatever the reason. Perhaps it has something to do in an arcane way with the idea of complete harmony. And this lion sculpture is different than the other one we saw. It has a belt there, and here the mother seems to be more playful with the child. If you recall, a child facing 3.5-inch claws, a playful context. And it looks like the eyebrows are add-ons, as in some of the hair perhaps. and that tongue. Here's an idea that is exactly the same as the elevated walkway at Angkor Wat on the interior, taking you from the entrance gate to the main palace. Okay, this looks like a lemon popsicle, so we will see. I think it's actually a pineapple. This bird and the turtle I know are 2 of 4 very important icons. I forget what it is that they're related to. This is some kind of sundial, but notice that it's more than a sundial. First of all, it's at an angle. Secondly of all, it's got 2 devices up on top, 2 arms like an hour and minute hand that can be rotated around that vertical piece. Again, giving a greater calibration or something. Notice beneath the turtle in the sea are various fishes and other little critters. Notice that the center set of stairs is wider than the 2 on the side, suggesting that's where the emperor walked up and lessers walked to the right and left. Imagine what it took to make each of these long pieces, all as one single piece, although, no, they're not, they're joined. The arms are separate. Getting a little sense of what they look like when they get rubbed. Some of the motif, a dragon, no surprise. This is a dragon panel. This was probably all painted. Some very rich red color underneath you can barely make out. Again, not much to see in here that you can literally make out. More impressive is that ceiling. Just as a point of reference, I backtracked to this elevated walkway so that I can go through into this area down in here. So I'm just going to roam down here and see what can be seen. If there are a lot of exhibits here, and there are, I'll come back on another day to see these.